Hello students, welcome back to your e-learning classes with me. So today I will be taking up again with class 9 English lesson, that is from the book Moments. So today our topic, our chapter name is The Adventures of Toto, written by Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond, a very famous author. You have already read many of his stories in your previous classes. So you already know this person and the story, the beautiful story that he used to write. So this is also one of the very beautiful as well as hilarious story which you're going to enjoy a lot. But before we take on with the chapter, before we start the chapter, let us have a introduction with Ruskin. Ruskin Bond, he is an Indian author. He is still alive and he is of 85 years of age right now. So he is an Indian author, but he is of British origin. Though by blood he is British, but he is having the nationality of an Indian citizen, and he has actually he is actually responsible for the growth of children literature in India. The different types of literature based on children, the literature which are meant for the readers, the child readers, those literature were mainly developed. That literature's genre is mainly developed because of him. Okay, he is having a major contribution towards it. And the important awards that he has received in his life, that is Sahitya Academy Award he received in 1992 for his novel Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra. He also received the Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan. Padma Shri he received in 1999 and Padma Bhushan in 2014. Okay. He also received the Lifetime Achievement Award very recently. Now, regarding Ruskin Bond's way of writing the stories, I will give you some introduction on that. So, what kind of similarity have you found while reading Ruskin Bond's stories? You have often wondered that Ruskin Bond is actually writing stories which are based on a place which is near the hill station, somewhere near the Dehradun, somewhere in Mussoorie. So everything is related to that area, because that is the main reason for he actually in his childhood time he used to spend all his most of his childhood days in the place of Dehradun and Mussoorie. Therefore, he is highly influenced by those places, and that is the place he loved the most. And therefore, he would like to imagine story. He used to create stories which were having the background of those places. Now, regarding the character in his story, he has often used a character named Rusty. So we often think, who is actually Rusty? Is Ruskin Bond himself? No, actually Rusty is not Ruskin Bond himself, but he imagined a character and he has developed the character with his imagination and giving him all the characteristics that he himself possessed. So he is actually representing himself in an imaginative way in the character of Rusty. So Rusty is not actually Ruskin Bond, but his imaginated character. So you will get the name Rusty in many of his short stories, novels. Okay, Rusty would be the main character of most of his stories. So in this story, the Adventures of Toto, here also we will be getting one narrator who will be telling the story as a first person. And here the narrator is a small boy, so obviously we can understand that it is Rusty who is actually narrating the story. Rusty, or it can also be Ruskin Bond, but the story is bit imaginative and you are going to enjoy the story a lot. Now let us begin the story. So let us meet with the character of our story, that is Toto. Toto, who is Toto? Toto is actually a monkey, a little monkey, and we will be reflecting on these 2 points. What is the character of Toto? Toto is a very mischievous monkey and a very smart monkey. So these two characters we will be getting while reading the story. Grandfather bought Toto from a Tonga driver for the sum of 5 rupees. The Tonga driver used to keep the little red monkey tied to a feeding trough, and the monkey looked so out of place there that grandfather decided that he would add a little fellow to his private zoo. So one day grandfather saw that one Tonga driver, you know what is a Tonga driver? So Tonga driver who used to pull the means pull the cart using horses, means a kind of horse cart. Okay, so that Tonga driver used to have a pet monkey, and he used to keep the pet monkey tied up to the trough. What is a trough? Trough is the big heavy feeding bowl for any cattle. Okay, so obviously the horse is there, the horse who is actually carrying the Tonga. So the horse will be eating something. So the feeding bowl of the horse, the big feeding bowl of the horse, that is called the trough. So he used to keep the monkey tied up to that feeding trough. So grandfather felt very sad that why this little monkey, this little sweet monkey, and he's tying him up in such a place. It looks quite out of place. Means it's not looking good for a monkey. A monkey means he should be energetic, he should be free, he should be actively doing different things, he will be jumping around here and there. So this is the natural look for a monkey, and there the monkey is not able to do anything. He is sitting in one place, bound to sit in one place, he is not able to go anywhere else. So that made grandfather feel little bit sympathetic towards the monkey. Therefore he decided to take the monkey, and he will add the monkey as one another new member in his private zoo. Now what is this private zoo? It is not actually a zoo, it is actually the term used here as a fun. Private zoo means grandfather had had a collection of different animals in his home. Okay, so because he is having a home which is filled with many animals, okay, many pet animals, therefore it has been often referred to as a private zoo, just for fun. So he bought Toto for 5 rupees from the Tonga driver and decided to keep him home. So from his eyes, his mischievous character is very well reflected. Okay, the way he used to have his eyes deep set under the eyebrow, okay, it used to look very mischievous. And his teeth, which were a pearly white, were very often displayed in a smile that frightened the life out of elderly Anglo-Indian ladies. So he used to have a terrible smile, okay, terrible frightening smile with his pearly white set of teeth. And whenever he used to give this smile, the elderly ladies used to feel terrified. But his hands looked dried up as though they had been pickled in the sun for many years. Now the description of his hands. Okay, how was his hand? His hand was so dry, as if like for days it has been kept under sun. Just before you make any pickle, before you make any achar, you have to dry the mangoes or whatever the pickle you are making of. You have to dry those ingredients in the sun, and it will become dried up. So the way it becomes dried up, in the same way the appearance of Toto's hand. It was very dry, as if it has been baked under the sun for days. Yet his fingers were quick and wicked. But maybe his hands were dry, but the activities of the fingers, it was very quick. Okay, he was very swift in doing any kind of activities, and mainly the activities were something wicked, something mischievous, something naughty. And his tail, while adding to his good looks, grandfather believed the tail would add to anyone's good look, also served as a third hand. So he had a excellent and lovely and useful tail. And according to grandfather's opinion, tail actually adds to the beauty. Okay, tail is something which completes one's look, completes one's beauty. So Toto is having that beautiful tail. He could use it to hang from a branch. So what were his tail used for? He used to hang from the branch using the tail. It was so strong, and it was capable of scooping up any delicacy that might be out of reach of its hand. And he could also use his tail to take things which are little bit far, and his hands are getting short to take those things, so he would use the tail at that time, because the tail is longer than his hands. So he will use the tail to scoop things out. Whatever he feels like eating, he wants to steal, he will use the tail for it. Grandmother always fuses when grandfather brought home some new bird or animal. So it was decided that Toto's present should be kept a secret from her until she was in a particularly good mood. Grandfather and I put him away in a little closet opening into my bedroom wall, where he was tied securely. Or so we thought, to a peg fastened to the wall. So now he is telling that grandmother used to make a lot of issue. She used to be angry, she used to shout, she used to make issues. Okay, she used to object. Okay, whenever grandfather brought any new pet in home, new pet animal in home, because it's the nature of all the housewives that whenever any extra pet is coming means the responsibility for taking care of the pet will come for that lady. Okay, the lady has to take care of all the things related to the pet, so obviously it will mean extra work. So grandmother also, very naturally, grandmother would react to any new pet that grandfather is bringing in the family. Therefore grandfather decided that for some days we need to keep Toto as Toto secretly in home somewhere, so that grandmother won't notice him. Okay, and in the right moment when grandmother is having a good mood, they will convey the fact that they have got one monkey in home. Now, where to hide the monkey? So they decided to use the narrator's room. Okay, where there is a closet opening. Okay, so there he can keep the, like a cupboard. There was a cupboard, so he can keep the monkey inside the cupboard. And there was also a peg fastened to the wall. Okay, peg means a kind of nail. Okay, a kind of hook. Okay, so it was in the wall, so he can tie the monkey with that hook, in that hook, and he can keep the monkey inside the closet for some time, for some hour in the day, for some hours. So it was just, they thought that keeping him there, they have actually managed to secure him, but it was just their thought. The reality was something else. Okay, a few hours later, when grandfather and I came back to release Toto, we found that the walls, which had been covered with some ornamental paper chosen by grandfather, now stood out as naked brick and plaster. So after a few hours, when they came back to check on Toto, how Toto is doing inside the closet, if he is comfortable or not, they found Toto was not there. Okay, so Toto has made himself free. So the peg in the wall, so that peg has been removed by him. He has pulled it out, and he has pulled it out with such a force that the entire covering of the wall, there is an ornamental paper which they used to cover the wall. After plastering the wall, they will often use one ornamental paper, just like a wallpaper, like a sticker. It will be covering the wall just for the sake of decoration. Okay, some people uses that. So that wallpaper, the plaster, everything was taken out along with the peg. So what was visible inside? The bricks were visible inside, from inside. The peg in the wall had been wrenched from its socket, and my school blazer, which had been hanging there, was in shreds. So along with that disaster, another thing happened, that is the narrator's school blazer. Okay, so Toto, after while making him free from that wall, or after making him free out of anger or whatever, somehow Toto has also made another disaster with his school blazer. He has just torn up the school blazer into shreds. I wondered what grandmother would say, but grandfather didn't worry. He seemed pleased with Toto's performance. So the narrator was worried now what I will tell to grandmother, because grandmother, when I will be going to school, I won't be having the blazer to wear, and grandmother will ask me what happened to your blazer. At that time, what I will tell her, that my blazer has been torn. Who has torn the blazer? So how to manage the thing? He was thinking about that. He was worried about that. But grandfather was completely like cool. He was completely relaxed, as if he was impressed. He seemed pleased with Toto's performance. He was not at all angry. He was instead he was feeling very much impressed. That Toto is a monkey. He has done the work of a monkey. That's a good thing. He's clever, said grandfather. Given time, I'm sure he would have tied the torn pieces of your blazer into a rope and made his escape from the window. So, another character, grandfather admitted that Toto is a clever monkey. He's not just a naughty monkey, he's also a clever monkey. Okay, and just grandfather's opinion, according to his opinion, if you have given him some time, he would be joining those shredded piece of the blazer, and he would have made a rope out of it, and he would use that rope to escape out from the window. Okay, his presence in the house still a secret, Toto was now transferred to a big cage in the servants' quarter where a number of grandfather's pets lived very sociably together. A tortoise, a pair of rabbit, a tame squirrel, and for a while my pet goat. But the monkey wouldn't allow any of his companions to sleep at night. So, that first plan of keeping Toto in the narrator's room or the narrator's closet was not working well. So, what the grandfather decided? The grandfather decided to keep the monkey in a proper place, that is, in the servants' quarter where other animals are living. Okay, so other animals are living quite peacefully with harmoniously, they are living together in a very sociable manner. So, who are those animals? There was a tortoise, a pair of rabbit, a tame squirrel, and a pet goat. So, they were all living together. But Toto is not a monkey. So, another character of Toto is he is not social. He can't live with harmony with any other animal. So, after he reached there, so you just remember the point, Toto was not social. Toto was not social. Okay, so after he was taken there, he didn't allow any of the other animals to have a peaceful sleep at night. He disturbed them a lot. Okay, therefore, so grandfather, who had to leave Dehradun next day to collect his pension in Saharanpur, decided to take him along. So next day, grandfather had to go Saharanpur in Dehradun to collect his pension money. So he thought that where to keep Toto, which is not safe to keep Toto anywhere in the home. Eventually grandmother will come to know and some problem will happen. So he decided, okay, better I take Toto to Dehradun. Okay. Unfortunately, I could not accompany grandfather on that trip, but he told me about it afterwards. So narrator was not able to go with grandfather at that time, but later on he heard the story what happened in the trip from him. A big black canvas kit bag was provided for Toto. This, with some straw at the bottom, became his new abode. So, grandfather arranged one big black canvas bag, a very strong type of bag, just like a suitcase type of bag. It was provided, and he kept some straw in the base so that Toto feels comfortable there. Uh, when the bag was closed, there was no escape. So once he shuts the bag, so there won't be any chance for Toto to come out of it. Okay. Toto could not get his hand through the opening, and the canvas was too strong for him to bite his way through. So Toto was not able to take his hand out of the canvas bag, and so that therefore that canvas bag would be a kind of small cage for him. It will be perfect for him, and it is so strong, the material is so strong that he can't use his sharp teeth to break out of it. Okay. His efforts to get out only had the effect of making the bag roll about on the floor or occasionally jump into air. But Toto was not a monkey to just sit silently inside a bag, whatever material it is. Okay, he would definitely try to get out of it. So while he was trying to get out of it, he was not actually able to get out of it, but while he was trying to get out of it, he was making some movement inside. So as a result, what happened? The bag sometimes rolled like this, or sometimes the bag used to jump like that. Okay. And the funny thing, an exhibition that attracted a curious crowd of onlookers on the Dehradun railway platform. So these activities suddenly inside a Dehradun station, the platform station where other passengers are sitting or waiting or going for the train, they suddenly they are able to see that there is a canvas bag. Okay, and the canvas bag is jumping, the canvas bag is rolling. So everyone will be wondering, oh my god, what is inside that bag? Okay, so it caught the attention of many people. Toto remained in the bag as far as Saharanpur, but while grandfather was producing his ticket at the railway turnstile, Toto suddenly poked his head out of the bag and gave the ticket collector a wide grin. Okay, so Toto was inside the bag till the grandfather reached Saharanpur. But right on the moment when the grandfather was checking out, showing his ticket to the ticket collector, at that moment only Toto was able to make his head out of the bag, and he finally succeeded in making his head pop out of the bag on that particular time when the ticket collector was in front of grandfather, and he looked at the ticket counter and gave a wide smile, that pearly white teeth smile, that terrifying smile. The poor man was taken aback, so ticket collector suddenly felt shocked to see that monkey smiling at him. It was a very awkward situation, but with great presence of mind and much to grandfather's annoyance, he said, but as quickly he just took control of himself, and he told grandfather, whatever he told grandfather was quite irritating for him. Okay, so he said, sir, you have a dog with you. Now the monkey becomes a dog. Okay. Sir, you have a dog for you. You will have to pay for it accordingly. You have brought a dog with you and you haven't got the ticket dog, so you have to pay a fine for it. Okay. In vain did grandfather take Toto out of the bag. In vain did he try to prove that a monkey did not qualify as a dog. So he kept on telling, he kept on convincing the ticket collector that you see, this is a monkey, not a dog. You can't qualify a monkey to a dog, because in the railway station, in the railway system, there is a rule that if you are carrying a dog, okay, if you are carrying a pet dog, then you have to make a separate reservation for him, to make a separate ticket for him. So there is only mention about a dog. Okay, there is only a reference about the dog. There has not been any reference to any monkey or any other creatures. So therefore, the ticket collector is not going to let it go so easily. Okay, so the ticket collector had to force something on him so as to take his fine money. Okay, so in what way? He can't say that it is a monkey and you are not allowed to take a monkey, because if he says so, then he won't be getting the fine. He won't be able to extract the fine. So he kept on telling that yes, this is a dog and you are not supposed to carry a dog without ticket. So he charged a ticket. In vain did grandfather take Toto out of the bag. In vain did he try to prove that a monkey did not qualify as a dog or even as a quadruped. Okay, not even quadruped, not even close to a dog's family. Toto was classified a dog by the ticket collector, but the ticket collector was stubborn. The ticket collector was just standing on his point. He classified him to be a dog only, and 3 rupees was the sum handed over as his fare. So he made a fine of 3 rupees. 3 rupees at that time, it was a big money. Then grandfather, just to get his own back, took from his pocket our pet tortoise and said, "What must I pay for this, since you charge for all animals?" So grandfather felt little bit irritated, a little bit annoyed, okay, a little bit defeated by this ticket collector's behavior, his attitude. Therefore, in order to challenge him, he took out another animal, that is a tortoise, that is a pet tortoise, small in size. Okay, he took it out from his pocket and he showed it in front to the ticket collector, and he asked that, as you are taking charge for all the animals, you tell me what shall I pay for this animal, this creature. Okay. The ticket collector looked closely at the tortoise, prodded it with his forefingers, gave grandfather a pleased and triumphant look, and said, "No charge. It's not a dog." The ticket collector scanned the animal, seen the poke that animal with the finger, checked it thoroughly, and then said very pleasantly, very casually, he just told grandfather that no, it's free. I'm not going to put any charge for this animal because it is not a dog. So the monkey was categorized to a dog just because the size was little bit bigger. Okay, but this tortoise, which was small in size, okay, it was not put in the category of dog. Okay, so that was the funniest fact in that trip. So I'm ending today's class here only. We will finish the chapter along with the discussion of the question answer in my next video, in my next class with this chapter.